Hello everyone, welcome to week 2 lecture videos once again. In this video, I will be talking about foreign exchange risk and liquidity risk. First of all, foreign exchange risk. Financial institutions have appreciated that both the foreign direct investment, that is investment in the real assets and the projects in a foreign country, or foreign portfolio investment, like investment in foreign securities, can extend the operational and financial benefits available from purely domestic investments. Now, to the extent that the returns on domestic and foreign investments are imperfectly correlated, that provides potential gains for financial institutions that expands its asset holdings and liability funding beyond domestic borders. Now, the return on domestic and foreign direct investment and portfolio investments are not perfectly correlated for two reasons. The first is that the underlying technology of various economies differ as do the firms in those economies. For example, one economy might be based on agriculture while another is service industry based. Further, given different economic infrastructures, one economy might be expanding while another is contracting. For example, in the late 1990s, the Australian economy was rapidly expanding while the Japanese economy was contracting. The second reason for the lack of perfect correlation in domestic and foreign asset returns is that exchange rate changes are not perfectly correlated across countries. For example, Australian dollar Singapore dollar exchange rate might be appreciating while Australian dollar and Japanese yen exchange rate might be falling. So due to the reasons that the return of domestic and foreign portfolios are not perfectly correlated, the financial institution can increase their returns by investing in foreign portfolios. However, the financial institution expose them to foreign exchange risk as well. Foreign exchange risk is the risk that exchange rate changes can adversely affect the value of financial assets and liabilities denominated in foreign currencies. To understand how foreign exchange risk arises, suppose that an Australian financial institution makes a loan to a British company in pounds sterling. Now, should the UK pound depreciate in value relative to the Australian dollar, the principal and interest payment received by Australian investor devalued in Australian dollar terms. So, an Australian investor will be the loser if UK pound sterling depreciates. Indeed, were the UK pound to fall far enough over the investment period when the cash flows are converted back to Australian dollars, the overall return could be negative. On the other hand, if an Australian investor have lended money to a UK borrower and UK pound appreciates in terms of Australian dollar, then the interest and principal received by Australian dollar in terms of Australian dollar will be higher, so investor will be in a beneficial position. So the point here is if we invest in a foreign currency and if that foreign currency appreciates, so you will be benefited, and if that foreign currency depreciates, you will be a loser. On the other hand, if we borrow from a foreign currency and if that foreign currency appreciates, you will be loser, and if this foreign currency depreciates, you will be benefited. That's why to hedge positions, financial institutions typically invest in a foreign currency at the same time borrow in the same currency. As a result, the loss from the one transaction can be offset by the other. Liquidity risk arises when financial institutions' liability holders, such as depositors or insurance policyholders, demand immediate cash for the financial claims they hold within financial institutions. For example, when liability holders demand cash immediately, that is, put their financial claims back to the financial institution, the financial institution must either borrow additional funds or sell assets to meet the demand for the withdrawal of funds. The most liquid assets of all in cash, which financial institutions can use to directly meet liability holders' demands to withdraw funds. Although financial institutions limit their cash asset holdings because cash earns no interest, low cash holdings are usually not a problem. Day-to-day withdrawal by liability holders are generally predictable As a result, financial institutions can normally expect to borrow additional funds to meet any sudden shortfall of cash on the money and financial markets. However, there are times when financial institutions can face a liquidity crisis. Due to a lack of confidence by liability holders in the financial institution or some unexpected need for cash, liability holders might demand larger withdrawals than normal. When all or many financial institutions face abnormally large cash demands, the cost of additional purchase or borrowed funds rises and the supply of such funds become restricted. As a consequence, financial institutions might need to sell some of their less liquid assets to meet the withdrawal demands of liability holders. This results in a more serious liquidity risk. Additionally, as they sell less liquid assets immediately to meet their liquidity demand, they may force to sell at a lower price compared to the price they could sell them if they had enough time. So this is known as fire sale, and this could threaten financial institutions' profitability and solvency as well. So that's the end of our discussion about liquidity risk. In the next video, we will be talking about off-balance sheet risk and technology and operational risk. Thank you.